stories of disgusting things that were normal in ancient Rome. Number 1. The Grim Feast, eating dormice. Romans considered dormice a delicacy, often served as appetizers at grand feasts. Wealthy Romans kept dormice in specially designed cages called gladiatorial to fatten them up. These cages had multiple compartments and feeding tubes to ensure the dormice were always plump. Before cooking, dormice were sometimes dipped in honey and rolled in poppy seeds. The meat was tender and sweet, a stark contrast to the small, rodent appearance of the animal. Romans would bake dormice stuffed with a mixture of pork, pepper, pine nuts, and other herbs. This dish was a status symbol, showcasing the host's wealth and sophistication. The preparation process was meticulous, with chefs taking great care in presenting the dish elegantly. Guests often consumed the entire dormouse, bones and all, which was considered a sign of refined taste. Dormice were sometimes served alongside other exotic foods like flamingo tongues and peacock brains. The practice of eating dormice was so prevalent that it was documented in ancient texts by writers like Apicius and Pliny the Elder. Romans believed that consuming dormice had health benefits, such as improving digestion. The dish was particularly popular during lavish banquets and celebratory feasts. The capture and preparation of dormice were depicted in Roman art and mosaics, highlighting their cultural significance. The Romans' fondness for dormice was so well known that it became a symbol of Roman decadence and excess. Archaeological findings have uncovered gladiatorial in ancient Roman villas, confirming the widespread practice. The consumption of dormice eventually declined as the Roman Empire fell and new culinary trends emerged. Today, the idea of eating dormice is considered repulsive by modern standards, reflecting the drastic changes in dietary preferences over centuries. The dormouse feast remains one of the most bizarre and unsettling aspects of ancient Roman cuisine. Modern historians and archaeologists study this practice to gain insight into the daily lives and customs of ancient Romans. The dormouse delicacy is often cited as an example of the extreme lengths to which Romans would go to display their wealth and sophistication. This practice also highlights the Romans' fascination with exotic and unusual foods, a trait shared by many ancient cultures. The meticulous care taken in raising and preparing dormice underscores the importance of food in Roman social and cultural life. Dormice were not just food but also a symbol of Roman ingenuity in adapting their environment to suit their culinary desires. Ancient texts and artworks provide a vivid picture of how dormice were integrated into Roman feasts, showcasing the opulence of the era. The practice of eating dormice is a testament to the lengths to which Romans would go to indulge their tastes and impress their peers. While the thought of consuming dormice might be unsettling, it offers a unique glimpse into the luxurious and often bizarre world of ancient Roman gastronomy. The story of the dormouse feast remains a fascinating and chilling chapter in the history of Roman civilization, leaving many to wonder about the extremes of human indulgence. Would you ever consider trying such a delicacy if it were still a part of modern cuisine? Leave a comment below with your thoughts. Number 2. Bloodthirsty gladiator games. The Colosseum, an architectural marvel, was the epicenter of Roman gladiator games, a brutal form of entertainment. Gladiators were often slaves, prisoners of war, or condemned criminals, trained to fight to the death. These combats were a way to demonstrate the power and control of the Roman Empire over its people and enemies. The games were a significant part of Roman culture, drawing massive crowds eager for blood and spectacle. Gladiators fought not just each other but also wild animals like lions, tigers, and bears. The spectacle included mock naval battles, with the Colosseum flooded to stage sea fights. Roman emperors used gladiator games to gain popularity and distract the masses from political issues. Victorious gladiators became celebrities, adored by the public and sometimes awarded freedom. The Colosseum could hold up to 80,000 spectators, who roared in approval or disdain, influencing the fate of the fighters. Fighters were armed with various weapons, including swords, nets, tridents, and shields, each creating different combat dynamics. The games were not just a test of strength but also of skill, strategy, and courage. Gladiators often swore an oath to endure punishment and even death, highlighting the brutality of the practice. The bloody nature of the games left the arena floor soaked in blood, a chilling testament to the violence. Roman society was deeply desensitized to violence, viewing the games as a normal and acceptable form of entertainment. The lives of gladiators were harsh, with rigorous training, poor living conditions, and constant fear of death. Despite the violence, some gladiators formed strong bonds with their fellow fighters, creating a sense of camaraderie. Archaeological excavations have revealed the complex infrastructure beneath the arena, used to stage the elaborate spectacles. The popularity of the games persisted for centuries, with successive emperors continuing the tradition. The decline of the Roman Empire saw the eventual end of gladiator games, but their legacy lived on in history and popular culture. Modern depictions of gladiators often romanticize their struggles, overlooking the horrific realities they faced. The brutality of the games raises questions about human nature and our fascination with violence. While the gladiators' lives were short and brutal, their stories have endured, becoming an indelible part of Roman history. The games served as a means of social control, reinforcing the emperor's power and the societal hierarchy. The spectacle of death in the arena contrasted sharply with the cultural achievements of Rome, such as art and philosophy. The legacy of the gladiator games is a testament to the complex and often contradictory nature of Roman civilization. The games were a microcosm of Roman society, reflecting its values, priorities, and the stark realities of life in the empire. The fascination with gladiators continues today, with movies, books, and TV shows drawing on their stories for inspiration. The chilling reality of the gladiator games challenges us to consider the ethical implications of violence as entertainment. What are your thoughts on the legacy of gladiator games in modern society? Leave a comment below. Number 3. Macabra medicine, bloodletting and surgery. Roman medicine, though advanced for its time, included practices that seem gruesome by today's standards. Bloodletting was a common treatment, believed to balance the body's humors and cure various ailments. Physicians used tools like scalpels and lancets to cut veins and drain blood, sometimes in large quantities. The practice was based on the theory of the four humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. Imbalances in these humors were thought to cause illness, and bloodletting aimed to restore balance. Patients undergoing bloodletting often experienced weakness, dizziness, and fainting, adding to the macabre nature of the treatment. Surgeons performed operations without anesthesia, making procedures excruciatingly painful and dangerous. Roman surgical tools, though primitive, were surprisingly sophisticated for their time, including forceps, scalpels, and catheters. Amputation was sometimes necessary, performed with rudimentary saws and knives, often leading to infection and death. Trepanation, the practice of drilling holes into the skull, was used to treat head injuries and mental disorders. The survival rate for such procedures was low, with many patients succumbing to shock, infection, or blood loss. Roman doctors also practiced dental surgery, extracting teeth with tools resembling modern pliers. Childbirth was perilous, with high mortality rates for both mothers and infants due to complications and lack of proper sanitation. Herbal remedies and poultices were commonly used, though their effectiveness was often questionable. Physicians relied on trial and error, with some treatments causing more harm than good. Medical knowledge was passed down through texts by authors like Galen and Hippocrates, whose writings influenced medicine for centuries. Roman baths played a role in public health, though they were also breeding grounds for disease due to poor hygiene practices. The Romans had a rudimentary understanding of anatomy, gained through dissection of animals, and sometimes human cadavers. Despite the gruesome aspects, Roman medicine laid the foundation for future advancements in medical science. The legacy of Roman medicine is a mix of remarkable innovation and horrifying practices, reflecting the complexities of ancient healthcare. The sight of bloodletting and surgery would have been a common, albeit unsettling, part of Roman life. Medical treatments were often a luxury, available primarily to the wealthy, while the poor relied on folk remedies and superstitions. Roman medicine also included bizarre treatments, such as the use of gladiator blood and liver as supposed cures for epilepsy. Physicians were sometimes revered, but often feared or distrusted due to the risky nature of their treatments. Surgical procedures were typically performed in public, adding a macabre element of spectacle to medical care. The role of women in medicine was limited, though some female healers practiced midwifery and herbalism. Roman medical texts reveal a blend of scientific observation and mystical beliefs, underscoring the era's limited understanding of disease. Modern medicine owes much to Roman innovations, despite the often grim and gory methods they employed. The tools and techniques used by Roman physicians can be seen as both a testament to their ingenuity and a reflection of the era's harsh realities. How do you think you would have fared with Roman medical treatments? Leave a comment below. Number 4. Poisonous parties. The art of assassination. Poisoning was a favored method of assassination in ancient Rome, used to eliminate rivals discreetly. Roman society was rife with political intrigue, and poison offered a silent, deadly solution to power struggles. Notable figures, including emperors and senators, fell victim to poisonings, changing the course of history. Women often played key roles in these plots, using their access to food and drink to administer poison. The poison of choice was often derived from plants like hemlock, belladonna, and aconite, all highly toxic. Poisoners used a variety of methods, including spiking wine, coating food, and even poisoning clothing. The infamous Agrippina the Younger was rumored to have poisoned her husband, Emperor Claudius, to secure her son Nero's rise to power. Nero himself was believed to have used poison to eliminate his stepbrother Britannicus, cementing his claim to the throne. The Roman elite lived in constant fear of poisoning, leading to the employment of food tasters and elaborate precautions. Poisoning was not just limited to the elite, it was a tool used by many seeking revenge or to settle personal vendettas. Ancient texts and historians like Tacitus and Suetonius document numerous cases of poisoning, highlighting its prevalence. Antidotes were sought after and developed, though their effectiveness was often questionable. The Romans' fascination with poison extended to their literature and mythology, with tales of deadly toxins and treachery. Poisoning was seen as both an art and a science, with skilled poisoners earning a fearsome reputation. The use of poison blurred the lines between medicine and murder, as some substances used for healing could also kill. The fear of poisoning led to a culture of suspicion and paranoia, with many avoiding communal meals and shared drinks. Poisoning was considered a cowardly and dishonorable way to kill, yet it remained an effective and preferred method. The discovery of poisonings often led to swift and brutal retribution, further fueling the cycle of fear and violence. Some poisons were slow-acting, causing prolonged suffering and making detection difficult. The use of poison as a weapon reflected the broader themes of power, betrayal, and survival in Roman society. Modern forensic techniques have shed light on some historical poisonings, providing new insights into ancient Roman crimes. The methods and substances used by Roman poisoners continue to fascinate and horrify historians and scientists alike. Poisoning remains a potent symbol of treachery and deceit, deeply embedded in cultural narratives and historical memory. The specter of poison looms large over Roman history, casting a sinister shadow over its political and social dynamics. The fear and reality of poisoning contributed to the atmosphere of danger and instability that characterized much of Roman life. Roman poisoners were often viewed with a mix of fear and grudging respect, acknowledging their deadly skill. The legacy of poison in Rome underscores the darker aspects of human nature and the perpetual struggle for power and control. The chilling tales of Roman poisoning practices invite reflection on the ethics and consequences of such deadly methods. Do you think the fear of poison still affects how we approach food and drink today? Leave a comment below. And that's it from this video. See you in the next one.